Greetings, K-Knight. Have your manners improved since last we spoke? There are many things in this world that I tolerate, but disrespect is not one of them. I have endured your rudeness long enough. Please see yourself to the door and do not return to this temple.
Was there something else? Second floor, have a good night. Hello! Oh, hey, Andrea. Yeah, I'm at work. No, not tonight. I have plans. Sorry. So, what are you gonna do tonight? Yeah,
Yes.
I know they're on sale. I picked some up.
How can I
I'll
help
you later, okay, sweetie?
Silver-haired man? I don't know. Wait. There is something. I saw such a man a few nights ago. Very distinctive. He was coming out of the temple. Yes, the same one. No, I didn't recognize him. Why are you asking? Really? Who was he? Experiments? What kind of experiments? I see. Where is he now? What? How can that be? Ming Zhao would never involve herself in something like this. I don't believe you. I consider you a friend, and I trust your counsel. Perhaps I will think on this matter for a little while. Maybe I will speak with Ming Zhao about it. I am sorry, but I owe it to Ming Zhao to confront her about this. I am sure that it must be a misunderstanding. Once again, I thank you for your help in these matters. Farewell.
It's not my problem.
I'll scream. Hey there! Need a date?
Hop in. that was recently released for good behavior was found butchered, similarly to the other victims of the serial killer. Police believe there may be a connection between Milton's prison past and the slasher. We'll have a full report on this story later tonight. A woman is dead tonight after a woman burst into an adult bookstore and brutally slayed the dancer before fleeing the scene. Police are speculating that the murder could have been a crime of passion or a case of stalking taken to the extreme. A description of the suspect was given to police, and officers are currently searching Hollywood for someone matching the reports. A shootout at a popular Chinatown underground club tonight left several dead and wounded after shots were exchanged between a local gang and an unidentified assailant. The club, Glaze, was a known hangout for one of Chinatown's largest street gangs, but was also a popular hangout for local club kids. One witness stated that the lone assailant acted like, quote, something out of an action movie. I couldn't believe one person could do that, end quote. Police suspect a rival gang may be behind tonight's violence. Tourists attempting to pay their respects at actress Ginger Swan's...
Deb's back, and she's got a fresh cup of coffee.
Going somewhere?
Yeah, what is it? Huh? Yes. Oh, yes. Caviar and champagne, darling. You know how these things are. Got my invitation right here, love. Did I just say I have an invitation? If I did, yeah, I've got an invitation. My husband he's a big, tough guy, so you can kiss my ass, honey.
Oh, hey, stop right there.
My husband he's a big...
Hey, stop it right there!
kindred. Your presence here violates the agreement between our leaders. Leave now, or face the consequences of your actions. There is an alliance between your leader LaCroix and Mistress Ming Zhao. You violate the agreement. If you do not leave, we are not responsible for your death. We'll give you one more chance to leave this place and keep your life. You will go?
Heard anything? It's probably just like the rolls of coffins or something. Lousy aristocrat bastard. What? Who said it? If this is true, listen, I can't believe even LaCroix's that low, but keep an eye on this. If there's anything I hate more than cannies, it's the goddamn Quid Gin. Heard anything?
What the hell did you want? I heard you were down poking around the museum. LaCroix wants that coffin bad. Seems like he has a lot riding on that sarcophagus. It's such a fierce bug in that powdered wig of his. I got another scenario for you here, kiddo. I'm gonna bounce it off you, see what you think. You ever hear of, Delareine? Well, it's when a vampire drains another more powerful vampire to death. Delareine is the Sabbat specialty, but it's a big taboo in civilized kindred circles, and damn sure forbidden by the Camarilla. When a younger vampire diablerizes an elder, the younger vampire gains all of their powers. Remember what I told you about the Ankara sarcophagus? About who that could be sleeping away in there? The Prince is willing to tear L.A. apart to find this thing so he can have it. Why? What would a power-hungry vampire like LaCroix want with a sleeping ancient? I wonder. You gotta figure a drop of ancient blood would make any kindred just about invulnerable. Anyone who has a sarcophagus is gonna be thinking the same thing. If LaCroix gets the sarcophagus, at least we know where it is. Besides, getting the sarcophagus and getting into it are two different things. Sure thing, kiddo, fire away. The Sabbat are worthless, man. Fake tits on a zombie. A Samitsi? No kidding. Those are some creepy evil bastards. Ran into one down in Mexico, had this whole village of experiments. Like nothing you ever seen in a movie. Sick, sick shit. Moving right along. That's us, so I'm told. What do you want to know? Moving right along. What's on your mind? Yeah, some of these younger anarchs got a real burning hate for the Quajin. First time a lot of them seen full-on combat in the streets and seen their buddies dying was when the Asian invaders showed up. Yep, cost the anarchs San Francisco. They're tough, and hard to get a beat on them. At least with Kindred, you pretty much know what to expect, what they're capable of. Quajin? Full of surprises. Man, don't let them cloud your head with their mumbo-jumbo. That crap wasn't meant for you. We're different breeds, us and them. Moving right along. What's on your mind? What about him? Nope, never heard of him. Ah, yes, holy vampire hunters. Staking for Jesus. Don't worry about him too much. If you find one worth the shit, he damn well better blindside you or he's dead. Either way, why worry?
Yeah, you go right on up and see Mr. LaCroix.
You actually brought it back. I wasn't sure I'd ever see you in here again, but here you are. And with the sarcophagus. Bravo! Come. I've granted Beckett's request to study and document all the markings of the sarcophagus. You've met Beckett, haven't you? Let's go take a look inside and see what the commotion around the city has really been all about. What? Preposterous! No kindred would trust them, nor would they trust us. Did Jack tell you that? Because it sounds like you've been taken for a fool. And you believed them. They've been trying to take over LA for years. It's a ruse, a falsehood, spread to undermine my rule and turn kindred against each other, thin our ranks. They are duplicitous, evil creatures. Did they not try to kill you? Insurance. They lied to you in case you lived through the encounter. They hoped to create dissension in the ranks, rumors. It's a trick older than you or I. I'll indulge your baseless paranoia no further. Let's open the sarcophagus. What have you assessed so far?
Unfortunately for the Heralds of Doom, it appears we won't be opening Pandora's box. The markings, as far as I can tell, are of Assyrian origin. An extraordinary piece, but nothing earth-shattering.
I see. Then there is no good reason why we shouldn't open it. Won't budge. Beckett, do you see any mechanism for the lid?
I haven't as yet had a chance to pore over it with my fine-tooth comb. I think I have one in my bag.
Why won't it open, Beckett? And you, I thought you said it looked as if it had been opened on the Dane. I want it open! You and Beckett, figure out a way to open it. I need to know what's inside. I have other matters to attend to. Come get me when a solution has been found.
Ah, the depths to which I'll sink to prove others wrong. The young ones get so temperamental. Fortunately for Sebastian, is it? I'd already made up my mind to open the sarcophagus, if only to show the city that Gehenna, contrary to popular belief, has not begun. Oh, yes, how foolish of me. That would be the sound, reasonable course of action. A priceless piece of history, by all means. Run out and pick up some TNT. How have you gotten this far? Here's what we're going to do. I know of someone who can help. His name is Dr. Anders Johansen, a professor of archaeology from Norway. He was the one responsible for finding the sarcophagus, and as far as I know, the only authority on its origin and design. Until yesterday, he could have been found in his suite at the Empire Hotel downtown. But when I stopped by earlier this evening, all I found was spilt coffee on a morning paper. Appears he's been abducted. I did find a pair of bikini swimwear and a book detailing the origins of various Turkish dialects. Where's the fun without complications? I detected the scent of myrrh incense, which is usually burned in monasteries. Also, I found beach sand in part of a muddy footprint. Putting two and two together, I located a monastery near a beach in Malibu, where I believe hunters are holding Johansen captive. The hunters abducted Dr. Johansen for his own protection, or at least that's how they've justified it. He's being held by the Society of Leopold and used, quite ingeniously, as bait for Prince LaCroix's minions. Sebastian mentioned you ran into one of the hunters from the Society of Leopold some time ago. They're so secret a church organization, I don't even think they know if they exist. But essentially, they're murderers for Christ, or some such deity. It's not that I don't love walking into the heart of danger to curry favor with the local magistrate of the hour. But actually, that's exactly it. I'd rather not get involved in the politics of it. Besides, I'd better document the sarcophagus before Sebastian's goon smashes it open. You'll have to go to the monastery and find a way into the tunnels beneath where the hunters are holding Johansson. I'm afraid I can't accompany you, but then it's best you go alone. Too many of us might set them off, like fundamentalists on contrary opinion. I'd recommend no other course of action to the foolhardy. I wouldn't recommend walking. Certainly Sebastian's already provided cab fare. I'm sure he always spares no expense when archaeology is at stake. Excellent. The Society, for the most part, knows very little about us. But they do know how to kill and torture us, and that's enough. Also, some of them exhibit powers that can make them quite formidable. Best not to announce yourself. Well, if we open it up and the world ends, then yes. If we open it up and the world does not end, then no. I'd wager the latter. How any sane kindred could think these poor unfortunates are an immediate threat to us is absurd. Most were afraid, or at the very least uneasy around me. Tragic. Their desperation could very well hold the spark of revolution, however. I've said quite a lot about myself already. I know even less about you than you do me. Why don't you tell me about yourself? I've seen some of the most docile, respected colleagues become emotionless killers within a few decades. It's tempting to give in, to resist struggling. It's easy to remember you're a walking corpse. Try to forget. Unless you've got further questions, I'd really like to get back to looking at the sarcophagus. Remember, Dr. Johansson is an innocent. He has no idea we actually exist. Try not to put the idea in his head.
Did you find a way to open the sarcophagus? I understand. I'm sure you'll find this suitable recompense. Did you find a way to open the sarcophagus? Which is... Traditionally, the Kuei Jin has stayed in Asian territory and the kindred Europe, and later North America. But recently, they invaded the West Coast, killing off a substantial number of anarchs. They lack the organization of the Camarilla and think nothing of breaking the Masquerade. Though we share similar traits, there is no fraternity between us. We embrace. They rise from the grave. They do not know the pleasure of blood. They are without clan. And oh yes, they believe our kind to be inferior. They are as much of a threat as the wolves. Werewolves. I can still recall a time when cities were surrounded by miles of forests full of the beasts. But progress has taken care of that problem. Which is... If you didn't take the time to ask, perhaps we'd know by now. As I mentioned before, my concern is that it pertains something supernatural. Now, Beckett has waived this theory altogether. The city is alight with dread. Perhaps it's an antediluvian. A joke? The antediluvians are the mythical progenitors of each of the clans for whom they trace their bloodlines, and according to mythology, descendants of Cain, the legendary first vampire. As in the biblical Cain and Abel? Before you put too much stock in it, realize that the church and all of its mythos are blends of kindred and mortal meddling, whips to regulate weak minds. This is all Beckett's field of expertise. If you want a lesson, merely ask him.
I'll never forget.
Money, right? Been a while. Your money's been piling up. Here, that should provide for an interesting evening.
Chill.
Where to?
Grave of the former sex symbol had been vandalized. The star was entombed in the Hollywood Eternal Mausoleum after her death in 1964. Nothing was stolen from the crypt, but estimates put the damage at over $1,000. Freak sandstorm activity is thought to be responsible for the destruction of 2 Navy fighter jets. The jets were returning from a patrol over the Persian Gulf when they disappeared off of radars. A transcript of a final radio exchange between the pilots mentioned wind conditions picking up and skies becoming so thick with sand that the sun was being blocked. Shortly after this exchange, there was a garbled shout by the co-pilot and finally radio silence. Military officials have dispatched several units to the area to search for the crew and the missing aircraft. The names of the pilots are being withheld until their status can be confirmed. A shootout at a popular Chinatown underground club tonight left several dead and wounded after shots were exchanged between a local gang and
You might like this. Now this is not your everyday ordinary pop gun. Only a few people ever get their hands on one of these. Take a look. My Vegas connection paid me a visit this afternoon. Popped his trunk, and what do you know? Had a flamethrower, a few tanks of spare fuel. It's yours if you want it. But, ain't you flammable? Concerning? Who exactly? Gary? Sorry, name doesn't ring a bell. Concerning? Specifically? I don't go down to Chinatown. Nobody who does comes back. Something going on down there with the Kuei Jin I don't understand, nor do I need to. Stay out's best advice I can give.
Need a fix?
Need a ride? Just keeps getting more interesting, doesn't it, kiddo? The Giovanni, the Kuei Jin, lots of blood being spilled for a 10,000-year-old conversation piece, wouldn't you say? I heard LaCroix's been talking to Beckett, too. Beckett's a skeptic about all this stuff. I just hope he knows to be careful doing with that snake LaCroix. You do what you have to do. Kid, if you don't do it, somebody else will. You're in a good position to make a difference, Mr. Big Shot. A lot of kindreds wondering just which way you'll go. Sure thing, kiddo. Fire away. What's on your mind?
Heard anything?
Hop in.